Meetings made easy. You are the first caller and will be placed on hold until the next caller arrives.
Good morning.
Hi, is this Ben?
Yes, it is. Hey, I'm trying to go to your GoToMeeting, and it's telling me that the page requested could not be found.
The page requested. You click directly on the link. It usually takes about a minute to load. You clicked on the link and it's not loading, period?
Well, it takes me to GoToMeeting. Is there a login number?
What it should be is a direct link. Once you click the link, and it should prompt basically to attach. It should prompt to open up your screen where you should just have to give a yes answer.
Is
that not happening? Again. No problem. And I can read.
GoToMeeting.com. Join 6. It's got your passcode. Same passcode.
At
the end.
Do you have access to the link I just sent through this, or no?
Well, I'm trying the link you sent earlier. Hold on a second here.
No problem.
Looks like this might work.
Okay. Yeah, it should be the link.
There we go.
Forward.
I might have beat you guys to it. Is what it was.
Oh yeah,
that might. I was trying to log in about 5 minutes ago. You maybe not have began the process. Okay, now it's downloading it.
Okay, great. All right. Well, yeah, it's an intro before we get there. Where you got? Are you in Texas? Is that correct?
I am. I am in Fort Worth.
How's the weather this time of year?
It's unseasonably warm, but I'm loving it. I hate cold weather.
Yeah, so we're in San Diego, so I'm definitely on that same page, and I grew up in colder weathers. So yeah, it gets a bit colder there in the winter, right? As far as I know, the peaks and valleys.
Well, I would say from about mid-December till about towards the end of February, it can be pretty nasty here.
Okay.
I mean, it can rain and sleet, cold weather, cold wind, cold rain, cold wind. It can be nasty. We've had a really nice winter so far, though. Only had a handful of days. Okay, it's prompting me for my name and email address.
All right, we should be ready to go in a second.
Oh, it went to my website.
Oh no, that's what I have on my screen. So our screen.
Oh, okay.
So that's all. That's all we need. Just you to be able to see my screen, and we're good. So.
Okay.
All right. So
I'll
let's.
tell you what, Patrick. It's been a while since we talked about this. If you could, and I've kind of been under the weather, remind me again what you're demonstrating for me today.
Okay. What we're going to be doing on our end is a 10 to 15 minute capabilities overview. What we have is an advanced website analytics technology as well as competitive intelligence. So it's basically giving your company more information about your website visitors as well as your competition with two different intelligence technologies.
All right.
And so I'm hoping that's still relevant for our conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
On that note, if you could, I do have quite a few notes about your company, what they do on a broad scale level, but if you could tell me a bit about your digital efforts in particular and your particular role within your company.
Okay, bear with me. I kind of got a little bit of a cough going.
No problem. Go ahead. Take all the breaks you need. So.
Yeah. Well, we have been looking at enhancing our website, and we did about 2 years ago. It was written in Joomla, and we hired a company to upgrade it and supposedly put some, I don't really know the technicalities behind it, made it more user-friendly to where when people went out on the website, they were able, or out on the internet, they were able to access Fleetscreen more readily than they were in the past. As far as my role, I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, so I would be the main one you'd be dealing with regard to any changes, recommended changes to the website.
Okay, as far as you know, do you guys use any kind of analytics technologies to kind of monitor what's going on currently, or?
Not presently. Our IT group has approached us about that, but I'm having a little sticker shock.
Okay. Sticker shock based on what? Do you know what companies you guys have looked at, or from your group? Or?
Well, I used a company last year that I wasn't very. I mean, in 2011 to 2012, that I wasn't real impressed with, and I'd rather not say their name.
No problem. I got it. All right. Well, in that case.
Well, just go ahead and show me what your capabilities are, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. All right. So once again, we're going to be showcasing two basic technologies, website intelligence based. First one we're going to be focusing on is the analytics. So you see your site right now. Our big differentiator with our analytics is we're the first product that captures the entire online experience. What that means is traditionally, if you have an analytics product, I'm on your homepage right now. If I move around for a few seconds, type in some information on your screen, then I go to the About Us page, all that's going to be created is one record when you go from page to page. So it's basically going to let you know, hey, someone went to this page, now they went to this page for this amount of time. Difference with our technology is if I write my name is Bob in the text field on your screen, then I delete it and write Rob, we're storing everything you see as an individual point of data. So you could do a search and say, I want to know every time someone writes Bob in my Go menu. I want to know that every time someone clicks Rob. I want to know how many times someone deletes that and changes it. So the point there is, of course, that's not a high-value example, but the point is all the mouse movements on your screen, all of the text, all this stuff is stored individually, and it lets you slice and dice it to get information about your website and both improve the experience on your visitors' end, as well as most cases, whatever your main goal is on your website, whether it's to have a contact form filled out, it lets you funnel in visitors and increase your ROI pretty substantially when you can tinker around at a deeper level. So the other end of that coin, that's the boring stuff on our end, just to kind of say capability that everything is being stored. Because we're storing all this information, we have the ability to also recreate everything that your customers see and do from the eyes of your actual website visitors. So this example here would be your company watching. Every time a visitor enters your site, you can watch exactly what they're doing as they're doing it. And we also keep auditable records for all your past website traffic. So this would be an example of your company watching everything that happens on your site from your visitors. And this would all be attached to all of the supplemental data as well.
All right.
So if that makes sense, yeah, and we always bring up the data point first. Like I said, it's a bit more boring too, but to understand that when you have these videos, you don't have to go back and spend thousands of hours watching them and editing them. You can search through the videos and say, I want to watch when someone filled out this information. I want to watch when one of my clients did this or that in the past. I only want to watch that portion of each video just to get better insight into what's going on. So it makes a big difference when you have this all lined up with the data as opposed to just the raw video capability. So that's, I mean, I'm assuming that's pretty straightforward. You'd be able to see this for all your customers. Is that okay? I'll show you one more example. So yeah, we do this.
Basically back-end monitoring.
Yeah, exactly. Back-end monitoring. Just going to show you an example for mobile because I did mention we have this on a very deep level for every device. Obviously, someone visiting your site from a phone is a lot different than someone visiting from a computer. So this example here is showing what you're going to see in blue and orange is just the actual finger movements. If someone's playing on your site from a mobile screen to show that these are monitored as well. And you can also see when someone's flipping their phone, and because it's all stored, you can see how many of my customers are flipping their phone, what's our site look like from that perspective, you know. So that's what you're going to be seeing in this 15-second example. 23, I lied, but it's close. So yeah, the main takeaway there is we're doing this in a very deep level. It's not just very simplistic, and also it comes down to knowing, you know, your website experience is going to be a lot different from different devices, and that's one of the big gaps that companies are missing is realizing their site might not be set up for mobile from X or Y browser, and a lot of times that can lead to pretty significant differences in business and closing rate. If your customers are having struggles or dissatisfaction in their browsing experience. Any questions there, Ben? Or is that pretty straightforward?
That's pretty straightforward. But I do have one quick question, though. One of the things that my research has found is articles posted on your website is one of the things that drives a lot of traffic. And what I'm interested in doing is like having a blog page where I can write a daily blog. I get questions almost daily from customers that would be of interest to people, and you know, if articles is what it takes to generate some traffic, I mean, that's something I'd like to be able to do.
Yeah, and I'm being blunt too. That's not our, you know, that's what you're talking about from an S. So bringing more traffic to your site from search. Yeah, creating articles is going to increase your presence pretty significantly. Search engine wise, that's going to get your presence out there. That's not what our, you know, I personally have a lot of experience in that world, but our company is more for the fine tuning and being able to monitor once you have those articles on there. So. Just to get that across, and once again, that's why we have a quick overview. If it's not relevant for your stage, we'll see from there. So the other note here is this is kind of the, so I showed you our capabilities. What this is kind of the practical starting point there to know how can I actually use this information. You have all of your all the analytics on your site. You guys basically choose what's most important to see in the main dashboard. Then if you want to dig, let's say, and let's take a look at our traffic from Google in particular. All of this is linked directly to the videos. So any piece of data, when you click on that piece of data, it takes you to a screen where you can kind of play around and see who comes from where and what reason behind that. So this example here is just a picture of, so it just shows kind of the practical usage cases in these cases. So now from here, you click play, you see the same view you saw before. And if I click view details on any of these, on any individual piece of traffic or customer, what it does is kind of what we call the customer history page. What this would do is this gives the entire history. I'm going to give a fake example because this is not a very, it's not illustrated well for a customer who hasn't been a while. So the point there is if you click on any individual customer, we're keeping a complete record of what they've done in the past from one view. So in this example, if someone had visited your site 85 past times, we have it all from one screen to go back and forth from his different visits. And you can also basically monitor whatever the most important statistic on your site is to attach to each of these records. So if you're a key point...
Now, we have a lot of customers that access our site on a daily basis to retrieve information.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we can eliminate data on that, because I don't really need to see that?
Yeah, Yeah, that takes this overview. We don't go deep into the slicing, dicing, but you can create any patterns or rules. If you basically want to say, I want to create a rule for this kind of customer, this is all I want to see, that's all you're going to see.
Right.
You have complete control. That was the data. So no, that's important. No one wants to watch all this. Everyone wants to use this to fix their problems, basically. You know, what are my problems? Who do I need to take a closer look at, et cetera, et cetera. So these are capabilities based. Last screen I'm going to show you on this end is when you talked about, you know, when we talk about actually converting traffic on the site and not just looking at past data. What this is here is the ability to engage with live website traffic. So in this example, if you had 5 active users on your site, you would be able to see what they're doing while they're on your page. And you would be able to focus on any particular visitor. And we have built-in chat capability to be able to engage them directly. So if you click chat live with someone while they're visiting your website, you would be able to chat with them and prompt that on a case-by-case basis. So if you wanted to monitor a high-value client, you basically have control to watch over your website traffic. So.
Okay.
So this is just one of those to show you where it goes here. This is a feature that's built in all from this same view. We have one dashboard that kind of gives you control to all of your traffic. And if you click the live button, in this case, that's why I had a faked example. This would show the same screen I showed before. So you can kind of go back and forth into looking at your traffic. You can say, hey, I want to look at people who came 5 times and have done this. I want to view them live. They would transition back and forth from the same module, basically.
Okay.
So on our end, yeah, that's it on my few-minute overview on the analytics end. Do you have any questions before I move on to the competitor intelligence?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
No problem. Okay. So yeah, and we have a lot of other gadgets within here. Just not these things take hours if we want to get super deep. So our other primary asset of our company is we have collected one source that has every website on the internet. What that means is similar to what Google's doing. They're storing information on a lot of websites. Then when you go to search, you can search for who has the word cow in their website, those kind of details. What most people don't know is Google only has about 1/5 of the total websites on the internet actually accessible. We have every website on the internet, approximately 5 times as many. The number is 180 million. Not that that's super relevant for people. So the way we use this is to give companies the ability to monitor their competitors and industry and kind of figure out what they're doing, if it's worthwhile doing as well. So in this example, I just wrote the word ABCD. What this did is it searched the internet for all of the websites using the word ABCD. I can choose a website, I can add it to a dashboard, and from there I can monitor the traffic rank and changes of that website. I can monitor the social media, the website performance, and I'll cut straight to an actual deliverable for a company. So in this case, if you wanted to highlight 3 of your competitors and you want to get an estimate of their traffic rank when it goes up and down, you'd also be able to see, for instance, hey, they have 1,000 more Facebook likes. At the same time, they had a 40% traffic increase. They changed their headline. Those things are probably correlated. This is all automated awareness on the top level. Other detail here, this industry tab would mean that you guys say, for instance, I'm going to define my competitors as everyone who's doing, who has the word drug test results on their main page. Let's say that's how you define your competition.
Right.
If you wanted to define that, even if that number was 10,000, 20,000, however you wanted to define that, we would be able to monitor all of those websites and basically everything publicly available. Everything you see on a site has its own source. It's publicly available. That's how Google kind of does everything, is just take a look at the general source of what's on a website. So in this case, we could give you updates to, these are the technologies that over the course of your 10,000 clients are updated the most this last month. So if someone invents XYZ technology tomorrow, all of your competitors are using it, it's probably worth you looking at. And we would say, look, 5% more customers are using XYZ technology.
Right.
And other than this, this is one example here, average page load speed. It's just something important to websites that you would be able to know on a macro level basis to kind of know how you compare.
Okay.
Yeah, does that all make sense to you? Do you have any questions on that in particular, Ben?
Yeah, it just looks like you guys have a lot of back-end metrics on measuring you know, what my competitors do, and is there a measurement on my company versus the competitors? All I see is competitor info.
Yeah, no, you can definitely benchmark against your own company as well. Yeah, it's just usually you can add your company as one of these key competitors. It's just the point. Yeah, no, absolutely, you can definitely. The difference here is, you know, when some people when I mention having traffic ranked, these numbers are not going to be exact for competitors. It's going to be a lot of third-party download services. Let's say all of us have GoToMeeting as a download on your computer. A lot of those companies are monitoring how much traffic people get, but that's not using every person who comes to your site. That's using maybe 1 out of 50 people who have those downloads. So they're not going to be as accurate as, of course.
Are you able to
Go ahead.
Are you able to measure, for example, if a competitor has a large amount of traffic, are you able to measure what's driving that traffic from a technological standpoint?
Well, the honest answer is we can see what changes they made technically. That's the point of this. It's not always going to be the complete answer, because if someone has a TV ad or something, you know, if someone has a TV ad and gets more traffic, it might not. But in most cases, I'll tell you, even for a TV ad, if you have a TV ad, a lot of times you'll have a special link. You guys might make fleetscreen.com/TV ad. And if we're getting more traffic to that link, that's something that's detectable.
That wouldn't be the case with my competition. None of them place television ads or radio ads.
But the point being is, you know, you can't guarantee, but in a lot of cases, a lot of it comes down to common sense. If you know the social media changes, the traffic changes, differences in technology, they're usually correlated. So.
All right.
So, let me ask you at this point, Ben, how much, what I usually ask people is, there's usually 3 different mentalities once we kind of go through our introduction. It's, this is interesting, I'm not sure how I would use it. This is interesting, I see benefit for my company, or this isn't relevant for where we're currently at. Where would you think you'd place yourself?
The first one. The first one.
The first one, basically interesting, and you're not exactly sure how you could derive value at this time.
Correct.
Okay. So on that note, let me ask you, based on what you said earlier, you guys are doing some overall site construction right now, is that right? You guys are still kind of redoing some or you were interested in creating articles and creating different structures on your website, right?
Correct. That's what we're interested in creating, you know, a blog page for daily, weekly article posting, generate more traffic. You know, the SEO, you know, we've already done a little bit of work on that. You know, I don't know how much money we want to throw at that, but at some point in time this year, we probably will throw a little in that direction. But I want to know, after already throwing some money and it not doing anything, I want to make sure that I get some bang for my buck.
Yeah, and that's you know, that's the point of this. Once again, not as much traffic generation. In those examples, you could create, you could basically say, I want to monitor the differences in traffic and results for coming from this link versus this link. That's a very common use case of how you kind of use this technology. You know, it's not going to increase your traffic directly, but it's going to let you know what's worthwhile from what you're doing. So,
okay.
In that case, I'm just going to show you one more example I feel would be relevant in that case. So the way we kind of organize this data, the simplest explanation, if I create a tag or title, and let's say I say, you guys have a new SEO link you created yesterday. I'm going to create a label called new SEO link. I'm going to assign a color to be able to identify that label. What that's doing is in these examples I showed, let me go to a detailed view. In the examples I showed before of kind of how deep you get into the customer experience, it's all color coordinated from every view. So in this case, if I said new SEO link and I chose the color pink to define it, you could do a search on all our traffic and say, I only want to see people who have pink on them to know they came from the SEO link. And if they had pink on them, you'd be able to see them in each case. So you can do this with as many rules as you want, and that's, of course, the way to understand differences. If you wanted to say the next step would be, all right, out of these pink people, however, we're going to define the goal of our website. How many people did this? And then you'd be able to monitor those. So that's just the practical use of, you know, the organizational system behind using this software. So.
Okay.
So at this point, Ben, what as a next step, would you be interested in taking a deeper dig? Do you have any other questions on our end, or what's our best next step from your perspective?
You know, I'd like to share some information with my partner. I don't know if who's the gal that sent me the email yesterday. If she sent me a proposal, you know, giving a cost breakdown and, you know, tied to Tori. Tori, that's who it is.
Yeah, correct. I can have her. So I'm not sure what was sent on her end. I can tell you a ballpark on her end is $750 a month would be the monthly rate, and we would have a hard setup cost in the $1,000 to $2,000 range, depending on your website. So those are the ballpark pricing we'd be looking at, and the setup time in our case, it's not just point and click to recreate all this. It's usually approximately 3 to 5 weeks. So we have 3 to 5 weeks set up on implementation, and once that's delivered to you in that time, you could basically have everything you see accessible.
Yeah, and I'm looking, and I have two emails from her, and neither one of them have a proposal. So if you could have her send me a proposal, or if you could, that would be great, and I'll meet with my team. And then we might want to dig a little deeper and have a full group in for a quick little overview.
No problem. That sounds good. So I'll send you, if it's, assuming it's not going to hurt, I'll send you a quick overview doc, capability-wise of what we showed, and I'm pretty short. Don't worry. Everyone hates long docs, and we'll also send you a estimated proposal to move forward. And if you think it's relevant to dig deeper, talk on the phone, my contact information will be in the email. Just reach out directly.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ben. Nice talking to you.
Hey, you too, Patrick. Thank you. Look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you.